You try to lie flat. It feels natural to you, stretching out fully, arms at your sides, spine aligned, face tilted gently upward. But in this era, that posture draws quiet concern. Someone once told you that only the dead lie perfectly flat. So instead, you prop yourself up. You tuck an extra bolster beneath your shoulders. You fold a blanket behind your back. You create a slight incline so your torso rests at a gentle angle, almost as if you're reclining rather than sleeping. It looks uncomfortable. It feels unusual. Yet for centuries, many people believed sleeping upright, or at least partially, elevated was healthier. The mainstream historical fact here is that in early modern Europe, particularly from the late medieval into the 17th century, it was common for people to sleep in a semi-reclined position. Beds were often piled high with bolsters and pillows, not necessarily for softness but for posture. You adjust again, settling into the incline. Your chin tilts slightly downward. Your neck rests against layered cushions stuffed with feathers or wool. Why this position? Medical theory of the time centers on the balance of humors: blood, phlegm, black bile, yellow bile. Lying completely flat was thought by some physicians to disrupt digestion or allow harmful vapors to rise improperly through the body. Elevation, in contrast, was believed to promote better circulation and respiratory ease. Scholars still argue how widespread this belief truly was across all classes. But surviving artwork from the period frequently depicts sleepers in upright or semi-seated positions. You look around the room. The bed itself is tall now, elevated high off the ground. A proper bed frame supports layered mattresses, sometimes multiple feather beds stacked one atop another in wealthier homes. Climbing into bed is almost an event. You may even require a small stool to step up. You sink back into the softness of layered stuffing. Compared to straw, this feels luxurious. Feather beds contour slightly to your shape, but they also trap heat intensely. On a cold winter night, that warmth is welcome. On a humid evening, it can feel suffocating. You shift slightly, adjusting the bolster behind your shoulders to maintain that semi-upright angle. Your body wants to roll flat, but you resist out of habit. A quirky detail from this era. People sometimes wore nightcaps not just for modesty, but for warmth. Heat escapes easily from the head, especially in drafty rooms. A simple cloth cap helps preserve body warmth during sleep. You reach up and adjust yours. The fabric feels soft against your temples. The room around you is darker than ever. Heavy curtains enclose the bed on all sides, forming a cocoon. Canopy beds aren't just decorative, they create a microclimate, trapping warmth within a smaller space. Interestingly, scholars still debate whether canopy beds were more about insulation or privacy. Likely both. In shared sleeping spaces, curtains offered rare seclusion. You breathe slowly, feeling the weight of blankets over your legs. The incline changes the sensation of gravity. Your back presses into cushioning, but your lower spine curves subtly. You close your eyes. Sleeping upright alters breathing slightly. Your chest expands differently. In some ways, it may have reduced snoring or eased mild respiratory issues. But full comfort? That depends on what you're used to. You imagine explaining this to your modern self, propping yourself up deliberately instead of flattening out on a perfectly engineered mattress. Yet here it feels normal. You turn your head slightly to one side. The feather pillow compresses under your cheek. Unlike wooden headrests, this softness yields easily. Feathers shift quietly inside their casing, but feather beds come with their own issues. They require regular shaking and airing out. Moisture can build up, mites thrive in organic stuffing. Scholars still argue about the hygiene challenges of layered bedding in pre-modern homes. Without frequent washing, warmth and organic material create inviting environments for tiny organisms. You try not to think about that. Instead, you focus on the warmth. The enclosed bed feels like a small sanctuary within a larger, colder room. Wind may whistle faintly beyond thick walls, but inside the curtains, air remains still. You exhale slowly. The slight incline keeps you from rolling fully onto your side. Your body adjusts, muscles relaxing into the supported posture. Outside, the night stretches quietly. In the distance, perhaps a church bell marks the hour. You rest between wakefulness and dream again. Over time, sleeping positions evolve as medical beliefs shift. By the 18th and 19th centuries, fully horizontal sleeping becomes increasingly common. The upright posture fades from fashion and theory. But for now, you recline like someone perpetually halfway between sleep and conversation. Your breathing deepens. The feather bed molds around you gently. And though your back might argue with this arrangement in the morning, tonight it feels secure, contained, warm. You settle further into the incline, the heavy curtains muting the world beyond, and slowly, softly you drift into sleep, not flat, not fully upright but somewhere in between, as centuries of habit guide your rest.